Regime puts new rules to isolate Iranian people more.
This is from News Nation, who spoke to refugees leaving Iran. The regime is tightening its grip even more on Iranian people and decided to put in new regulations to criminalize anyone who speaks with quote unquote hostile media outlets. Basically, they're trying to isolate and censor people. They passed a bill called the Countering the Infiltration of Intelligence Services and Foreign Governments or Institutions in the Country. Try saying that 5 times fast. Basically, it's another attempt by the regime to stop Iranians from speaking to the outside world and particularly prevent mass uprisings from the article. I did find out that the punishment, from what I read, is corruption on earth, which is a death sentence or 10 to 15 years in prison. Uh, I just wanted to know what your thoughts on this is, Armin, and from anyone else as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the most common example of this is many Iranians from inside Iran always are usually guests on Iran International, right? And that's what this new law is supposed to target: going on places like Iran International and giving your feedback regarding what's happening in Iran. But however, if you look at the law, it also says that unapproved. So if it's approved by the Islamic Republic, you can go. Because if you're going there to defend the regime, right? Like if you are, so you have to, they would let you go, right? Um, and this is insane because, as you mentioned, you now, based on this new law, can get executed in Iran for simply going and speaking to media outside of Iran. Like, if you're a guest on Iran International from inside Iran, you could get executed for that based on this new law, which is insane. But it's also good because it shows where their priorities are. And this was one of the first laws that they passed after the parliament was open in Iran. So under all of this economic frustration that the Iranian people have, and the parliament constantly complaining about why have you closed the parliament, and we don't get to serve the people because the regime had decided to close the parliament. One of the first act of the parliament, as soon as it was open, was not to go and pass bills to help out with the current economic conditions. It was to pass a law to make it illegal to go and talk to foreign media. And it's sad, but it also shows how easy it is for us to get closer to a collapse of the regime, given that this is the priority that they have. That instead of trying to fix things, they're just trying to silence people talking about how bad things are. And you might think that it's because they don't have any solutions to the problems, but it's not just that. It's also is they don't have any solutions, but they also wouldn't. That is not even their priority. Their priority is not to stop the upcoming uprising by figuring out how to make the Iranian people's conditions a bit better. Their solution is always to stop the upcoming uprising by making everybody shut up about it. That is always their solution that they have to fixing their problems. Anyways, I see some twos in the chat, so I'm going to stop talking.
Okay, next up is me. So I just wanted to say that this is an example of something that maybe at first glance looks like a lever of control that the regime has that they benefit from. And so one thing to note is that open societies and closed societies have built-in advantages and disadvantages. But we can look at this. We can look at what the regime is doing to its own people, and we can understand it also as a disadvantage. It's a disadvantage for them because we can talk to each other and we can criticize each other and we can brainstorm and come up with better ideas and benefit from each other's criticisms. And they are suppressing that. They're suppressing that. So they're demanding a sort of an ideological standard that everybody has to meet in order to communicate. In order to even be heard, they have to. So what's even the point? Like, we know what you're going to say because you're obligated to say it. We have to understand that this is a weakness of theirs and we have to exploit it. Okay, next is Richard.
Absolutely. And I think to also echo that point, echo again?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's okay. It's funny because you say to echo that point and you're echoing. I don't know if that's
It's an intended pun, echo.
okay. Go ahead.
Like,
I think it's not that bad, but if you could fix it, that would be great.
you know, one of the ways to look at a law like this when it's passed is sort of it is sort of a window into how the regime evaluates its own internal strength. A perceived strong position would probably not necessitate passing a law like this. So optimistically, they are projecting weakness, even if it's just a perception of weakness. It definitely shows that they're afraid. So I think that's one thing to take from this.
Yes.
Yeah,
True.
absolutely agree. Okay. Noah wants to go again. Noah, it's you.
Just to close out, I just wanted to make a point. It seems like, and I could be wrong on this, but it almost seems like they're taking a page out of North Korea's book, because it seems like this is something that North Korea would do or has done, to prevent people from speaking. But that's just something I thought of.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, one of the only moves they have is just to increase the level of totalitarianism. It is ultimately it's destined for failure. Whether there's war or there's not war, it's destined for failure. And this is something we have to understand, and we have to start to build confidence in ourselves that our open system, despite its challenges and despite its disadvantages, is actually way better. And we need to build that confidence in ourselves to recognize that.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.